It's a story that happened 2 years back. I was thinking about how I really can control emotion. I had been to a funeral where I saw men above the age of 40 were crying because they had lost a loved one. And I used to always think this is one thing that I can have control over. This is one emotion that I can control. If ever anything like this ever happened in my family, I will be calm and people will come and tell me that we are sorry that you lost so and so, and I will say yes, may Allah forgive him, but I will be calm. This is something which I did not really understand till it happened to me. There was a day when I was working in my store one evening. My wife had gone out in the market to buy something. My mom was alone. My father had been out, and my younger brother, who also stays with us, had also gone out. My wife called me up to tell me that my father had expired. That very moment, I just was shattered, and my hands and legs started shivering, and I did not know how to control that emotion. An emotion which I had been saying that I can control, I had lost control over it. My legs and my hands started shivering, and my worker who saw me, he realized that something really awkward has happened. Next moment he caught me, he gave me a glass of water, but I was still shivering. I couldn't take it. I didn't know what to do. He made me sit down. It was the wife's call who said, listen, Papa has expired. So I said, like, what happened? How did you know? He said, Mom called me up and she said, he expired. That's all I knew, and I couldn't stand for the next moment. For next few moments, my worker somehow controlled me, and he put me in an auto rickshaw because he knew I wouldn't be able to ride the scooter. And I sat in that auto rickshaw and I headed home. As soon as I reached my society, my wife has also reached there. She had been to the market, she also reached there. And she said, Faisal, I am sorry, it was a mistake. It's not father who expired, it was uncle who expired. But mom couldn't say it properly on the phone, so I thought it was father who expired. This situation taught me, Allah taught me that very moment, that if you think you have control over your emotions, I will show you you do not have control over it. And he only showed it to me. I'm happy, alhamdulillah, my father was still there. He only showed me the feeling of that emotion, what you could go through if I want you to go through it. And I learned from that. I learned from that to respect a person who's crying because his father, he has lost his loved one or his parent. So I learned from the situation that Allah only wanted to teach me at that very point that no, Faisal, you have to learn to respect a person who's crying. Those tears that are falling from his eyes, you have to respect that. And from that very moment, every time I looked at my parents, I said, Alhamdulillah, I can still see my parents alive around me. And very quietly every day in the morning, I go towards their room to look at them just once, look at their face, and go back to my room. Because I feel content that even at this age, I have my parents with me. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me today. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Wonderful, wonderful. Right. I must say that in my 12 or 13 years of teaching career, many students have delivered, and I have witnessed hundreds and thousands of students holding mic and delivering their speeches. And this is not just a speech, but you have given us a lesson. I could see that emotion even today. I don't know when was it, when did it happen? 2 years, right? So it happened 2 years ago. When you lose your parents today, and after 3 days, you will not go through that pain, what you go through today. And even it happened with me. When my father had been sick, he had been sick for a long time, for decades, but he used to recover from diseases. And I had great attachment with my dad. And I used to think that the day my father would die, would depart, would meet the Maker, I wouldn't able to breathe on this soil. the moment my father dies, I am going to die, because I cannot hear that news. I cannot imagine that I can ever live on this surface, on this earth, without my dad. But it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who helps us forget our parents. Forget doesn't mean forget forever, but to overcome that emotion, overcome that situation, because He is Rahim and Rahman. If He couldn't help, then it would have been a very different life, and I think I would have also died. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am truly thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On behalf of all the human beings, I take this opportunity to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who helps the children overcome this shocking news, overcome this terrible situation. And it happens, every parent dies someday, and the children have to go through that shock, go through that situation. But after 3 days, they would gradually recover from that shock. But with you, after 2 years, you were delivering the same situation here. You were just talking about that incidents, but I could see the tears in your eyes and that shivering in your hands and the shivering in your legs. It was a wonderful lesson he has come up with today. I believe that every individual will love our parents. As long as they are alive, we have no respect for them. And when they pass away, you start realizing their importance. You are very fortunate individuals if your parents are alive. Seek their blessings, seek their du'as, respect them, honor them, and try to serve them, try to spend time with them. And I believe that their du'as will help you do wonders in your respective lives. One of the wonderful lessons you have given today. I salute you, and I love to meet your dad someday. I would love to visit your house and kiss his hand for a reason, because he has given such a wonderful son. A big round of applause for this great personality.
Thank you so much.
Good job. Wonderful, wonderful, good job.